Hey, I'm Plus Infinite, and today we're going to be doing some Super Quant test hands and taking a look at my new deck profile for February 2023. Let's check it out. Disclaimer, this video was recorded right before the February 2023 ban list was revealed, but you can bet I'm already cooking up ideas for a new Super Quant deck list in the very near future. For this video, I'll assume that you already know what the Super Quants do, and if not, you can check out my first deck profile, which gives a detailed breakdown. I'll leave a link down below. Since my last deck profile was in October right before Darkwing Blast came out, I've had to make some significant changes to keep up with the meta. My main Super Quan lineup is the same with 3 Alpha, 3 White, 3 Red, 3 Blue, and 2 Green. I also still have the Danger package with 2 Nessie, 1 Jackalope, and 1 Tsuchinoko. But as you can see, the main difference here is I've added 3 Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell is an incredible tool in this current meta because it stops the Ishizu cards from shuffling monsters out of the grave, and it stops the Bestial cards from banishing my monsters from my grave. 2 of the main threats against this deck. Plus it also helps against the tier element fusions, even though they can usually play through it. Next up is Spells and Traps. I've overhauled the ratios of the 2 most important cards in the deck, Alphen and the Field Spell. The Field Spell here, you can see I'm playing 4 copies plus a Foolish Burial Goods to send Alphenspike, which can play the Field Spell from the deck, giving me 5 or 6 copies depending on how you look at it. I'm also playing 3 Puri Rays map in the main deck this time as additional ways to get into Alphen. It's also a good Ash bait because if your opponent doesn't realize it, they might think that you're going to have to pay your half life points, when in reality it's not actually a cost, it's a part of the effect. Foolish Burial will send White to get another copy of Alphen that way, giving me 4 additional copies of Alphen. And of course, because it's still unlimited, we gotta play 3 E-Telly. And as always, Monster Reborn's an incredibly useful card so that you can get back your blue if you whiff it off of Alphen. Call by the Grave is still important because your opponent will be playing cards to try and stop tier elements. Cards like Ash, Effect Veiler, DD Crow, and even Ghost Bell will hurt this deck. Triple Tactics Talent is great going first or going second, making it a good flexible spot. I'm playing Dark Ruler and Forbidden Droplet. I only play the 1 Forbidden Droplet because it takes too many resources to use. I used to think it was good because you could send something like Alphenspike or White Layer, and then you can get going from there, but it just takes too many resources to play it more than 1. I'm basically just playing it as an additional Dark Ruler, no more. Of course, we gotta play Evenly Matched. It's a great blowout card. And now it's time to introduce you to my favorite new Super Quant card, the Sword.
We need the Power Sword, now!
Super Quantal Mech Sword Magnus Slayer is a card I used to think was not very good. Because it's a trap card, it's rather slow, but its effect makes it worthwhile in games that are dragging on. Its effect allows you to equip it to a Super Quant Xyz monster, and they could gain attack equal to its rank times 100. It also gives the monster piercing battle damage. Plus, in the battle phase, after you attack, you can send this card to the graveyard, sacrificing your attack boost and the piercing damage to gain an additional 2 attacks, making for a quick, easy OTK with Magnus. Now I'm on to the extra deck. Just like before, I'm playing 2 Magnus, 2 White, 2 Red, 1 Green, and 2 Blue mechs. Before, I was only playing 1 Zeus, but now I've bumped it up to 2 because it's just that good.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Now with the remaining 4 spots, I've added a new backup plan. In case all else fails, you can summon Avramax. Avramax is a great backup strategy if your opponent tries to stop you from summoning Magnus. Usually you'll have enough monsters to make an Avramax that's unaffected by card effects thanks to Masquerena. What I'll typically do is use Red Layer with either an Alphen or a White Layer to summon out Lina. That will trigger Red's effect to get back one of the materials, so I'll have a Link 2 plus 1 material. If I can summon one other monster, or if my opponent happens to have a light monster, I can steal it and then go to IP and make Avramax. A similar thing happens with Dark, although I find it's a lot easier to steal Dark monsters than it is light monsters. If I summon out a Danger monster, I can use it as a Dark material for Dark, and then I can steal an opponent's monster. At that point, I only need 1 other monster to get into Avramax. Avramax is also useful to beat over monsters that Magnus can't affect. Unaffected monsters like the Arrival Cyberse Ad Ignister and Geomathmech Final Sigma are no sweat for Avramax. Avermax also replaces Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops, the card that I used to use to follow up if they clear my Magnus. Because if Magnus summons back the 3 smaller Zords, I can use those Zords to link into Avermax. I can even use another copy of the field spell to grab the mechs out of the grave and make Magnus alongside Avermax. Alright, let's get to some test hands. I'm going to do this all in one take, no interruptions, so you can see what this deck is made of without any editing whatsoever. I'll just do it live for you. So here's the first hand. We'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I forgot to do the standard cut. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Let's see what we get. Ooh, that is not so good at all. Okay, we only saw 1 Super Quant name, and we did get lucky with the field spell. But from that point forward, we're going to have to rely on Tsuchinoko. Very much not feeling good about this hand. So, we'll special summon out red, and then we can activate the field spell. From here, I could make the red mech, set droplets and called by, and hope for the best. Let's see. I think that's the strongest play, but let's have some fun. We'll activate Tsuchinoko, and then we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's 4, so we'll discard the called by, special summon the danger Tsuchinoko, and let's pray for something good off the top. E-Telly, there we go, that'll do it. Okay, so we've specialed. We go to activate E-Telly, and then, oh, there's blue right there. Okay, and then blue gets summoned. We'll search for the field spell. Wait, we already had the field spell. We don't need the field spell. We searched for Alphen. That's what we need. Okay. So, we haven't used our normal. We'll go to normal summon Alphen. And at this point here, we can overlay into the blue mech to make a little bit of room. And then we can tribute Alphen to reveal, let's see, what names do we need? Green, white, and I'll settle for a red, because at least red can grab a white. So we'll do this randomly here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's 6. Red. Oh, okay. All right. Well, at least here, we'll see what we can do. The problem is this is really vulnerable. This particular combination here is really vulnerable to Bestial at this point, because what I really want to do is target the white and add it back. I could target the green, but it's not going to do anything because I need to get a 3rd Super Quant name on the field, and I can't do anything otherwise. So we'll target the white and pray that they don't have a Bestial.
Just a note here, while I'm editing, I could actually play through the Bestial here by overlaying the 2 reds, and using the red mech's effect, I could destroy either the Bestial or the red mech itself. Then red's grave effect would revive the green. I could pitch the droplets in my hand with the field spell to make the green mech, and make a 6 material Magnus that way.
Okay, so red effect targeting the white. White, grab us an Alphen. White resolves, grabs the Alphen. Red resolves, grabs the white. And we're lucky they didn't have any hand traps here. So we'll, oh, wait. We'll activate white's effect, sending the red, special summoning itself, and then red's grave effect can trigger and target the green in the grave. Yeah. And then we can choose 2 courses of action here. We can send a green and then overlay these guys the hard way. Or we can, did we get white's grave effect? Yeah, we already got white's grave effect. So normally we could send a white and then get white's grave effect that way. But we don't need to because we already got white's grave effect. And so I think the right thing to do is to send the other green, because then we can overlay and then keep 1 card in our hand, which will be the droplets. So sending the green will copy the level and attributes. Now these guys can overlay into the green mech. And then now we can discard the Alphen, target the red, and make the red mech. Alright, and we've got droplets left in our hand. We'll send the field spell, and look, we can make a pretty big Magnus here. Look at that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 materials. Whoo boy. All right. 8 materials with the droplets still left in our hands. I think that's pretty good, don't you? So we can pass on that, and even if they make something bigger, we can shuffle it back and still be left with 7 materials. And if they try and attack over, we can even use the droplets. And, oh, well, we wouldn't have anything to send off of droplets, would we? So, yeah, droplets is kind of useless in our hand anyways. That's fine. Oh, you know what, though? What we could do is we could set the droplets, and then when they try and attack over, we could shuffle it back with the white, adding an Alphen to our hand. Then droplets would be live, and if they try and beat over a second time, then we can use droplets discarding the Alphen to lower the attack of the monster that they're trying to beat over Magnus with. So that's 2 ways to out anything that they can... I mean, that's 2 ways to beat... You know what I'm trying to say, right? If they have 2 ways to beat over Alphen, I can get rid of them both. So I think you get the point here. Let's start over, and we'll do another hand.
If I had to pick just one card that I could add to the Super Quantum theme, it would be a spell card like a Rhoda, a searcher for any Super Quantum monster. Just that would make a huge difference. What do you think would be a good Super Quantum card?
So we're going to go for another hand here. Oh, oops. Let's do the standard cut. Okay, and now we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do we get? What's this one? Oh, the field spell. That's looking good. Ooh, E-Telly. Okay, so we have the 2-card combo here. We've got E-Telly and the field spell. As a backup, we also have white, who can discard green and then get us into Alphen that way. So let's see what we can do with this hand. I think I can actually play through 2 hand traps with this hand. If those 2 hand traps are an Ash... or an Imperm, as well as a Bestial. So, let's see how this goes. First off, I'm going to activate E-Telly. And then E-Telly, we can say it resolves to summon out the blue. Okay, and then now here's where our opponent can use Imperm, Effect Veiler, or Ash to stop the blue. We don't need Alphen or the field spell, so it's okay. We'll take the hit there. So that's 1 hand trap down. Now we can activate the field spell, and then we can activate white, sending the green to special summon itself. Then we can activate white's effect on summon to send another copy of white, and on a new chain, white will then grab us in Alphen. At this point, I'm starting to see a problem with this hand. We're low on cards in our hand. That's really not good. So we have to hope that when we finally normal summon Alphen and then tribute him, we're going to get a red. Because if we don't, we're in trouble. We're not going to have enough cards in our hand. Alright. As a matter of fact, I don't think we're going to have enough cards in our hand no matter what. So, Alphen will then... Actually, you know what? Here. Let's just go back a few steps, okay? Here's what we're going to do. Okay, here's what we do. Activate the field spell, discarding green to target the blue. Okay, all right. Green's effect can send the white, and then we can get a draw and also get an Alphen that way. Okay, or right, we don't activate green's effect, then we activate white's effect, sending the blue mech to the grave, and that'll make a slightly smaller Magnus, but it'll still make a Magnus. So I think the play here is to go green, discard the white. Okay? That's a much better play. Keep more resources in my hand. Alright. So, green, discard the white. We're going to shuffle up and then cut, and then we get a draw off of green's effect. That'll be this card. And then we'll activate white's grave effect to grab us the Alphen. Okay. Alright, now we can normal summon Alphen. Okay, and I feel a lot better about this. We'll activate the Alphen, tributing it, and revealing red. And we have a blue, so we need white, and another copy of green. Okay, so let's roll the dice here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's 2. So we'll get red. And that's actually really helpful here because it puts another card in our hand. So we'll actually have 1 card to spare afterwards. Which is good because here's where red would be targeting the white to retrieve it. And then green's effect already activated in the grave. White, we already grabbed an Alphen. So it's literally just this. Red targeting the white. If they try and Bestial us, we would normally be screwed, but we do have a Ghost Spell, so let's say we use it. Red would then retrieve back the white to our hand without being Bestialed. Then we can discard off the field spell to target the red and make the red mech. Now here's a cool thing we can do. We can actually, let's see, do we have, we have both greens in the grave. So yeah, here's what we do. And we actually have all whites in the grave. So we'll activate white's effect here, special summoning it, and then trigger red's effect in the process to target wait, if we white here, they can Bestial again, can't they?
Okay, I'm editing the video and I just want to give some clarification on this clip here. So yes, my opponent can stop me from summoning white with a Bestial, but they would need to use a different Bestial to do so because the first Bestial had its once per turn effect negated with Ghost Spell. Now here I'm going over a scenario where I could summon green with red's grave effect, and then normally I would send a green from the deck with white's summon effect, copying its level and attributes, and then overlay for a green mech. However, I only play 2 copies and they're both in the grave. I also can't use the field spell to discard and make a mech because I had to use the ghost spell earlier, meaning I have no cards left in my hand to do so. So instead, I'm just going to make the play as though they did not have the second Bestial, and special summon the white using red's grave effect, overlay for the white mech, and go from there. So now I just proceed to summon out the white mech and then target the white, red, and blue mechs, combining them and sending the field spell for cost so that I can summon a 6 material Magnus with 5 different names. Unfortunately, this means that his final effect is not active, but at least the ghost spell did help us to make the Magnus in the first place. So with that hand, we were able to play through 2 hand traps, one being either Ash, Effect Failure, or Imperm, and the other being Bestial. And we still made a Magnus that's unaffected.
So let's go again and see what we get next time. You see, the unfortunate thing about this deck is it's only had one wave of support. Its one and only wave of support was before Master Rule 5. Back when you had to link summon in order to use Xyz or Fusion or Synchros at all. So they made the first wave of support as a link monster that you would then have to use in order to get into your Xyz monsters. That was the one and only wave of support that the Super Quants received. And I feel like that's such a shame. And the last time that we got the wave of support was when Avermax first came out. It was in, Dark Neostorm, that's what it is. Dark Neostorm. That's where we got White Layer and the beautiful Link monster. Okay, all right, here's the next round. We've got Magna Carrier, E-Telly, Alphen, so we've got the 2-card combo. And with this hand, we might be able to play through a couple hand traps as well, but let's play it out and see. So the first thing I'm going to try and do is activate E-Telly. And if they Ash that, then we have the triple tack. And we have Monster Reborn, so we can get a 3rd Super Quant on the field, so that's fine. But we'll say that they don't Ash it, then we summon out the blue. They can actually Ash this one, which would hurt in the long run because we can't use blue's effect later with Monster Reborn. But that's okay because we already have the 2-card combo. So with this hand, we'll say that they Ash the blue, and we'll play through the Ash on the blue. We'll normal summon Alphen, activate the field spell, activate Alphen's effect, tributing itself for cost, revealing red, green, and white. Okay, now we'll roll the dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's 4. So we'll say green gets summoned and red and white go to grave. Here's where we would be vulnerable to a Bestial. Might have been good to use triple tack after the Ash to draw into 2 cards. Maybe we would get a ghost spell. That would help. But I didn't do that, so that's fine. Green gets summoned. We don't activate its summon effect because we have nothing to summon. Which is another reason why triple attack would have been helpful here, but that's okay. Red would target the white, and then white would grab us an Alphen. So we'll chain block a ghost spell if they have it, but we are vulnerable to a Bestial if they try and banish the white. We'll say that they don't, and we'll grab us an Alphen. And I'm just going to activate the triple tax now and see what we get. It's a little bit late to see what we would have had, because I would have had to have activated before we even trigger the Alphen. All right, let's cut. Okay, so we'll activate triple tag and we'll draw 2. We'll see what we get. Okay, Jackalope and red. Okay, not bad. All right, so I wouldn't have minded too much if we got Bestialed, and here's why. As long as we get the Alpha into our hand, we're looking pretty good. So let's say that we did eat the Bestial, okay? We actually have Monster Reborn, and that's why it's actually really, really good, because Monster Reborn can put a 3rd Super Quant on our field. So here's what this is going to look like. We're going to activate Jackalope. Since we drew into Jackalope, we're going to activate... Well, actually, we're not going to activate Jackalope. We're going to discard Jackalope off of the field spell, targeting the green to make the green mech. That will trigger Jackalope's effect to special summon another danger card, and we'll go for the Tsuchinoko, so that it'll pair up nicely with the blue. Special summoning it, and then we can overlay with the blue into the blue mech. All right, now we've got 2 mechs out. Fortunately, we have the Monster Reborn, so we can actually Monster Reborn the red, and then red can even retrieve a Super Quant card from our grave back to our hand, giving us another discard. If they had another Bestial already, then whatever, then that bit gets banished and we have to use one of the other cards in our hand. That's fine. So we'll discard the Alphen and target the red. That's 2 Bestials and an Ash we've played through. Oops, Monster Reborn. 2 Bestials and an Ash we've played through, and we still have a red layer in our hand. So what I'm going to do with the red layer is I'm actually just going to attach to the Magna Liger there, and then we can overlay by sending the field spell into a beefy 8 material Magnus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with 7 different names. So I made an 8 material Magnus playing through an Ash and a Bestial, and potentially even a second Bestial, because that second Bestial would have prevented me from having an Alphen in my hand right now. And then we pass to our opponent, and actually in the end phase they can't even add with the Bestial effect. How great is that? So I think that looks pretty good. I think we've demonstrated what the deck is capable of. I'm pretty proud of that, but hopefully you can see how I play through this deck. I've played this deck a lot, so I know my way out of a lot of different scenarios. Sometimes you just draw a really bad hand and there's nothing you can do. And I've tried really hard to make it so I can play through hand traps. That's been my priority. You can see through a few of the demonstrations that I've been able to do that. I can play through one hand trap sometimes, or actually a lot of the time, and I can even play through 2 hand traps sometimes. For a rogue deck that's only ever had 1 wave of support, I think that's pretty good. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty happy with this deck. I love it. I'll keep on playing it until we eventually get another wave of support. But thanks so much for watching the test hands, and I'll turn it over to the end slate now. All right, that about wraps it up for today. Thanks so much for watching to the end of the video, and if you enjoy this deck as much as I do, then you're in the right place. Be sure to smash the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, drop a like, and leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. I've got plenty of videos in the future planned, including deck build variations, Master Duel replays, and a super secret surprise project that I can't wait to share. For now, you can check out some of the other videos on my channel, and until next time, I'm Plus Infinite. Stay cool, take care, and have a good rest of your day.